community in general is very, very violent in nature, right? So the whole atmosphere that runs in the community is that of fear. Even in the school, in fact, it's so fearful that once 3 to 4 goons entered my classroom and threatened some of my students, right? So the first challenge that they face is actually that of not feeling safe in the community they live in every day. They call home. When I came into the school and I saw the children and I saw the class in the beginning, a lot of them were actually already showing some sort of outcomes which are directly related to the environment that I spoke about, right? So there was a lot of unproductivity stemming in the culture of the class in general. So the first thing was to build a culture where we would believe that we are together a classroom, we have an identity, we have a character, and that character was nothing but a culmination of individual characters that belong to that classroom. So it was a lot about them sort of knowing that I have an ambition, I have a dream, I want to pursue it, or I want to have an aim to begin with, right? That was the beginning. Slowly on, when I realized that yes, the classroom was coming together, they had that belief in them that yeah, we are different and we have the right to actually change and we want to change, is when I started putting a very strong contextual vision. And that vision was about every single child in the classroom realizing they have a story that they can write for themselves. Not me, not their parents, no one, absolutely no one, except for them, have the power to actually completely take control and grip of their own lives. So I think once we wrote that vision, articulated it, and we believed in it, the classroom started really showing some change. I think one thing that I realized as teachers we had to do was continuously keep informing our students what was happening in our class. They knew what objective they had mastered. They knew what subject they had completely grasped over that 1 week. Sharing all of our plans with them really got them invested into the vision, right? At that point of time, there were a lot of students who strongly, I mean not only from the point of keeping it inside but actually moving other children, started taking active role in changing the environment of the class. Saying, sir, if someone bangs our door, we will not look at the door, we will still look at you. That change, that commitment to believing that I will change irrespective of what's happening behind the door of my classroom, came from my students. That inspiration came from my students, not from me. To get them out and say that no, there is a change that I can bring and I'm not okay with where and how I live and I want to change that, was I think the one big change that I started. The second thing that sort of happens is having a strong goal and having a commitment towards that goal. I think I've come a long way towards that as well. And the third and the final step, which now, and I feel this is the time, the best time for my classroom, and this is where it's entering, is to be able to get on that path and every single day knowing what am I doing to achieve that. One clear change that I've been able to see is their ability to rise above their context. Their ability to believe that just because they stay in Kanpur and just because they are from a community where violence is something which is accepted, they won't accept it. It has been characterized by a lot of self-awareness. Believe that I am going to develop in this area and this area. And once that sort of happens, if they're able to articulate that in their head, can change actually begin. I think a value that I've brought in a lot, or I've spoken about a lot, and try to create experiences where students get to exercise that value, has been that of conscience and having an active conscience at any given point of time. Be it a lesson plan, and I feel this value was key in getting them to rise above their context. Because this is an enabler of many such values, because it gets you to self-reflect every single point of time and regulate your actions. And that is something that I saw missing in the class in general when I entered. And I feel the students have come a really long way, and I would say 80 to 90% of the class today, if not at every given point of time regulate their actions, can identify their actions, know what was right and what was wrong in their action, and at least commit to changing it. Abhishek started the school with a very strong mindset. At any given point of time when I would try to correct his mistakes, he would keep this very hard front in front of me. And at this one point when I wouldn't understand what is his aversion towards feedback. I would try to correct a normal spelling mistake and he would be like, he would just turn away. I would try and ask him to look at the class and speak, and he would not speak and sit down. This one time I was interacting with him and I was trying to probe into what led to this, and turns out he was constantly compared with his brother at home. And this one time I was correcting his mistake and what he says is, sir, मैं कभी तो कुछ सही करता हूँ ना. And I think that day I realized what was going on, what was the antecedent of that complete behavior, and that really helped me connect to my student a lot more. And today's RC level is 5.5 and he's aiming for a grade level, right? So jumping 4 grade levels within a year and a half with that commitment towards self-improvement came from a student who was so resistant to grow or take feedback, I think that's transformation for me. Frankly, I would say a lot of this change hasn't been brought by me, right? The most important person in this journey for me has been my co-fellow, right? Utkarsh, who's at every single step been an equal part in planning, executing, deciding what to do in the classroom, and actually going out there and showing the exact same passion that I've had with these students, right? I have immense belief in my co-fellow to take this impact forward the next year, and not only in my co-fellow, but in my school team as well. My PM was Arsha, and she was a very strong pillar of support for me and for the entire course of 2 years. She's been someone who's always set super high expectations for myself, irrespective of the context I operated in, which has informed my vision for my students. So it's been that I've been mirroring exactly the role of my students in my relationship with my PM, and she's been mirroring what I do with my students. So it's been a very interesting journey of growth for me. But beyond that, what I've also believed is that I've been able to create more than just one PM for myself. I've been able to create 3 more PMs. Sam, Mansi sometimes, Tushar, my institute PM, and reach out to any one of them at any given point of time when I needed support. The whole culture has been very supportive to the fellow. In the first year, I didn't have a school team, I was alone, right? So I anyway used to reach out to a lot of fellows for different things. So I had 1.5 hours, no co-fellow, to take BOYs. I wanted to teach. I was going on checking 73 papers and I didn't have that time to make lesson plan. And there were people in the learning circle standing up for me, helping me make lesson plans and deliver them. So I think my fellowship journey has been a big testimony of how the city came together to help me.